Listeners, beware! You're in for a scare! Howdy, folks. Welcome to Nightmare on Fear Street, an R.L. Stine podcast, and I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm your other host, Meg.
And, Meg, guess what? Guess what?
What?
I was walking in the woods one day, and, this old lady needed help, and I told her no. And she's like, I guess you don't get 3 wishes.
Wow, that was a great story, Zach.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this week we read Be Careful What You Wish For. My favorite Goosebumps book ever.
Really?
Yes, I've told you this, we've talked about this a lot. This is my favorite one.
I don't know. I think you probably wish that I forgot about this book.
Maybe I did.
Oh, no.
Anything's possible in the Twilight Zone.
Oh, you forgot to put the trademark.
TM.
Well, Meg, how was your spooky week?
Oh, I finally saw The Disaster Artist.
Did you like it?
I did. I loved it. But the one problem that I had with it was the fact that Dave Franco playing Greg Sestero is really distracting because it's like, oh, these two guys who don't know each other, they just look like brothers, huh? I still think it's totally wild that nobody knows where Tommy Wiseau is from or when he was born.
Oh, he's from Poland.
Is he?
There's a new documentary coming out called A Room Full of Spoons, and they won the legal battle for it, and basically... Oh, hey, Rosie.
Does your dog have any thoughts on this book? Does she have any thoughts on The Room?
So they won this legal battle against Tommy Wiseau to actually do this documentary, and one of the quotes from the director is like, you know you've gone too far when you're walking in a cemetery in Poland with only a flashlight and looking for gravestones.
But, isn't Tommy Wiseau not his real name?
Oh, no, it's not. It's not at all.
Okay, I kind of don't want to watch this documentary because I have, in my head, I have this image that Tommy Wiseau is, ex-Russian mafia, probably was a Men in Black who, came to Earth, and then, I don't know, I have this complicated backstory for him, and I don't want that to be spoiled by real life.
But that's not true, Meg, because even if we find out where he's from, we still don't know, where he got all of his money from, and why he's so paranoid about no one finding out who he is.
That's so true.
You might find out, where he's from, but that's just, the ice cube tip of that iceberg.
That's true.
Though, I still think the half of that movie I can quote still. I think Tommy took a while. Ah!
Yeah, and he flips over the newspaper machine. Everybody betray me! Ow, I hurt my foot.
So, where are you from? Nolans.
New Orleans. With that accent! You hear that, boys? This guy with this accent! What else did I do? I also went to see Winchester.
Oh, what did you think of that movie? Ugh.
It was really lame. It was so lame.
I wonder why it's so lame. Is it because it's ye olde Paranormal Activities? Or is it all the jump scares?
It's just, so many jump scares. And, the fact that, every actor in it is Australian and, the American accents vary so wildly in quality, it was so distracting because I'd, seen half of these people on TV and I knew that they weren't really American. And so just, it ruined it for me.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters and I wish that I never saw it in theaters. I've been to the real Winchester house before and I was like, this is not this house whatsoever. They modeled it not after this house.
And the fact that they took, a real thing and they made it all oh, I talked to the ghosts, woo!
Who knew that, my last name and I own a gun company and these ghosts haunt me because reasons they never explain.
And, the villain of the movie is just a guy, basically. He's not even a demon or anything, he's just a guy.
That wants the money.
He just is a ghost who wants to kill... Why is this one ghost so overpowered? They never explain it. It's a shitty movie. Don't watch it.
No, don't. Don't watch it. It's pretty bad.
How was your spooky week, Zach?
It was super spooky, except the weirdest thing happened that has never happened to me before occurred.
You got a date? Oh, bow, wrecked!
Oh yeah, I get them all the time. With my dog. And
You go on dates with your dog?
yeah, how'd you know? We hit up all the hottest spots like the park and the dog play center. And I like my dog, but not that much. I do go on dates with actual people, robots.
Actual people robots. That sounds like the name of a company that like makes robots that you can date. Actual people robots for when you're sad.
Is this like the rom-com version of Blade Runner?
Yes, it's also my Black Mirror episode. It's like the movie Her.
Oh no. Okay, that movie's amazing though. So the weirdest thing happened. So me and my friend, it was a Tim Curry art exhibit. Like, oh, we'll go first day, you know, there's supposed to be like a standby line.
So wait, so explain this to me. Is Tim Curry an artist? Or is it art inspired by Tim Curry?
It's art inspired by Tim Curry.
Okay.
I don't think Tim Curry can actually do art at this point in his life. So,
That's sad. You made me sad.
Oh, it gets worse.
Don't tell me a sad story at 9:30 in the morning. I'll be sad for the rest of the day.
So we get there, and there's like a long line, and we start waiting in line. It's supposed to open up in about 2 hours. So waiting there, and they're letting all the people that have tickets go in first. And we're like, oh, we're going to wait to get to the front of the line, because guess who's there? Tim Curry.
Oh my god, I was thinking to myself, if Zach says he met a famous person, I'm gonna like flip a chair and leave the room. Welcome to Nightmare on Fear Street, the show where Zach rubs it in my face every day that he lives in Los Angeles.
No, this is actually let me finish my story.
Yeah.
So we're waiting there, and like no one in our line is moving. So my friend Austin goes up and he starts asking them, "Oh, you know, when can we go see this art exhibit? Because we just want to see the art exhibit, not actually see Tim Curry. It's just like a happenstance that he was there."
That makes me feel better.
Oh, you'll be able to get there in about tomorrow, because they're only letting press people in. But it's like, oh, and even if you do get in there, you're not supposed to look at Tim Curry. You're not supposed to acknowledge that he's there. Look at him or say hi. Like, is this like some?
Do not look at the dog park. Do not acknowledge the dog park. Do not speak to the hooded figures in the dog park.
It's just, no, thinking about it, like, it was like, because we left afterwards because we decided we're just going to go to an arcade. But, like, thinking about it, it's like a really sad petting zoo where you're not supposed to pet the animal, talk to the animal. You're just supposed to, like, look at it and gawk. I don't know if that's worse. Yeah, but other than that, it was a fun week. I've been reading a lot of books. I actually found an Ernest Cline book that I like thoroughly, and that was Armada.
Oh yeah, I saw you reading that.
It was good.
On Twitty.
Other than that, we read Be Careful What You Wish For.
Oh, because you might get it, Zach. Because you might get what you wish for.
Really? You hear that, Rosie? We're getting a steak dinner.
Your wishes are very simple. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, because world domination is going to go so well for me. They're going to topple my statues in like 10 minutes.
I'm imagining a giant statue of you, like, doing that pose that Lenin is doing in all of the statues of Lenin.
Except, like, I'm an idiot and they're made out of, like, rock candy.
Idiot, you mean genius.
So, like, when they topple my regime, it'll be, like, sweeter?
Yeah, I would definitely, like, pay to have a, like, giant rock candy carved into your likeness. Okay, if we were millionaires and we had, like, Nightmare on Fear Street
yachts
land, that would be there.
I mean, I told this to Henry. I was like, about Conjuri. I was like, just keep on going until you have a theme park expansion.
And then Zach can work there.
Yeah. Like, just wink at Henry. Job security.
Job security. Anyway,
Oh, and I also got to listen to Conjuria.
Shameless plug for my boyfriend's show. If you're not listening to Conjuria, what are you doing here? Go out and listen to Conjuria right now. Episode 3 dropped today, as we're recording this.
Yeah, so go listen to Conjuria. I liked it. It's Zach approved.
It's Meg approved also, but, like, you knew that because it's written by my friend and boyfriend, Henry Galley.
Your friend and boyfriend,
yeah, he's my friend and boy, and he's also my boyfriend.
That's a good
You know that picture of the frog where it's like, reach within to your local bog, and you will find a friend and boy.
Yeah, that's amazing. So Meg, do you want to talk about this cover?
Yeah, so I have once again, you've got the old time, you got the original and the best. Smith's potato chips, and I've got the Nui one.
Which one do you want to go first? Because I actually hate this cover.
Which one do you have?
I have the very original one, the one that actually isn't designed by Tim Jacobus.
This is one of those weird ones where there's 3 covers for it.
Yeah, the one that I have is, you see like in the foreground, there's like a hand on like a crystal ball. The whole cover's pink. And in the background, you see like, I would imagine what Samantha is, except she looks like Gollum.
Oh, yeah.
It is not a flattering piece of artwork.
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look this up real quick. It's a real awkward cover. It's not one of the stronger ones.
It looks like a knockoff. Like, if you, like, saw this, it would be, this is not a real cover. It's really, like, unflattering, unfortunately. I don't like this cover. The other one, the actual Tim Jacobus one, is much better, because it's...
Is it the one where she's, like, standing holding the crystal ball and there's, like, lightning around her?
Yeah, it's so much better looking.
Yeah, it's so much cooler.
I mean, the one you have is, like, the Madame Leota one, right?
Yeah, she totally freaking looks like Madame Leota. And for some reason, she's, like, in a fortune teller's tent, even though they never go to a fortune teller's tent in the book.
Well, not here, because, you know, they need to get the information about the Mortmain Mountains. Obviously.
Oh, yeah. You gotta give the people what they want. Violence and sloppy eating. But not during the day, because that's the sleeping time for the crystal ball. Do you and B on your Percy Jackson podcast, do you make, like, as many incredibly dense, a series of unfortunate events references as we do on this show?
All the time.
Please tell me you do. That's so good. I'm glad.
We actually, the problem is I compare it to Harry Potter. She compares the books to series of unfortunate events, and then we compromise with references.
That's fair. Anyway, so yeah, my cover basically is all blue, and it's got Clarissa, the wish giver, the crystal woman. She's floating her, like, it's like her head inside the crystal ball. Literally looks exactly like Madame Leota from the Haunted Mansion, but she's got glowing red eyes, like a fortune teller's caravan, with, like, the very stereotypical, like, the table and the cushiony chairs and the candelabra. There's, like, magic boxes up on the wall, and so the crystal ball is floating above the table, and then she's, like, looking down at you through it. And I think it's a good cover, but it's quite generic. It doesn't actually match the book that much.
I like it a little more. Compared to the first one where, like, Samantha looks like, her face is like, could you not?
Yeah, she looks like just somebody's farted near her. She doesn't look, like, bewildered.
No, she looks befuddled. Like, what am I doing here? She, like, walked in front of the photo of the person taking it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess we put it into the thing. So there's someone out there that's modeled after this poor woman.
Oh, no. I love this book. So, do you want to read the blurb for us, Zach?
Well, Meg, it might come true.
It might come true.
Make a wish. Samantha Bird is a klutz, an accident waiting to happen. She's the laughingstock of the girls' basketball team, and that means Rotten Judith Bellwood is making her life miserable, on and off the court. But everything about to change. Sam meets someone who can grant her 3 wishes for real. Too bad Sam wasn't careful what she wished for, because her wishes are coming true, and they're turning her life into a nightmare.
Dun, dun, dun!
I like this book. I felt like I think this book's kind of like the Diet Coke of the Monkey's Paw.
It is, a little bit.
And I think there's also another episode of The Twilight Zone that this is actually inspired by, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and, shameless plug for what I'm working on. I actually have the animated pilot that I'm working on. The plot is very much based on this book, as, like, a parody of it, to the point that there's a line where one character is like, if I know my goosebumps, which I do. These kinds of situations always come back to bite you in the ass.
So seeing how this is your favorite Goosebumps book, we haven't gotten to this part of where we've talked about it. Why is it your favorite, and when was the first time you read it?
The first time I read it, it was, like, when I was a kid, and like a lot of the Goosebumps books, I read it over my summer holidays when I was staying at my aunt's house once, and my cousin Leslie had all of the Goosebumps books, and quite a few of the Fear Street books when we were kids. And so, I don't know, like, when she was away, I would go into a room and I would read the Goosebumps books that she had. One of the ones that I remember really, really loving the first time I read it was this one. And I think it's because I related a lot to Samantha. And also because, like, I judge the goodness of a Goosebumps book by, like, how similar it is to a, Round the Twist episode. Like, I like the ones that are kind of super, like, scary, but just kind of weird. Sort of like, I don't know, my favorite genre of book is magic realism.
Now, what's the difference between magic realism and, like, urban fantasy?
It's a fine line, but generally the thing is, like, urban fantasy is more about, like, the world building, establishing the rules of this, like, fictional universe, and more about, like, exploring different, I don't know, fantasy with an urban setting. But magic realism is more like the weird stuff that happens is sort of like secondary to what the characters are doing. So like weird stuff will happen. It's all like plot driven and they don't really explain it and it just kind of happens and the characters roll with it. Sort of like Harry Potter is urban fantasy. A Series of Unfortunate Events is magic realism.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, so it's like in A Series of Unfortunate Events, they never explain why the lachrymose leeches are the way they are. They never, like, name the country that this occurs in or, like, tell you what time period it is. Yeah, there's very little world building because it's more focused on the characters, and there's just a lot of weird stuff that happens to and around them.
Yeah, like the King of Arizona. That's one
like the King of Arizona, the Duchess of Winnipeg. Snakes can talk. Also, Sonar can't see you if you don't move. I'll never get over that.
Or my other favorite one is Simple Net can lift up about 80 kids.
Oh, yeah. Another example of that would be like pretty much anything by Haruki Murakami, Twin Peaks. Yeah, that's sort of the difference. That's sort of like the big difference between magic realism and I would call this book magic realism because it's like it's not as focused on like the fact that there's a lady that's out there granting wishes. It's more on the fact that like this girl is getting these wishes and this is just like happening to her.
Yeah, no, I can see that, especially with this book.
So I like the ones that aren't like direct horror, the ones that are just kind of like weird stuff happening to people.
So like indirect horror?
Yeah, indirect horror. Like Welcome to Camp Nightmare, I would consider another one that's like indirect horror. It's not so much like it's just weird stuff happening.
And then at the end, there's the twist. Like in this book.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite twist endings, and it's stuck with me so much, because I remember reading it as a kid and being like, oh, this is brutal. This is brutal.
So, Meg, how does this book start?
So it starts with Samantha going up to answer a question on the board in maths class, and then Judith Bellwood deliberately trips her.
Why?
Because Judith Bellwood is a binge. She's a binge. Anyway, have you seen that picture that's like the poster for Will Smith's Hitch, but they change it to say binge, so it's just Will Smith standing over the word binge. So Judith Bellwood is the bully of the school, and she really gives Samantha Bird a hard time. You know, she's always calling her Stork, because she's very awkward and very tall. She's always saying stuff like, why don't you fly away, Bird? Fly away.
Because her last name is spelled Bird, B-Y-R-D.
But it's pronounced Bird, like bird.
No, just that like brings me back to like weird times. Like, did you ever have like weird nicknames growing up like that, Meg?
My basketball coach used to call me Megasaurus, so that's what I got printed on my year 12 jersey.
Megasaurus?
In American high schools, when you're like leaving, when you're about to graduate, do they give you like a jacket?
A Letterman jacket? We have to pay for ours.
Yeah, we had to pay for ours too, but pretty much everybody got one. And do you get like a nickname printed on the back of it? Because we do that here.
I never bought mine. I hated my high school.
It's not a Letterman jacket. It's like a rugby jersey, so it's like a long sleeved.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
That's a thing here. Everyone gets one, and you get your nickname printed on the back of it. And I still have mine, and it says Megasaurus.
I didn't have any of that. I think mine was just always has been Zack Attack, or people not knowing how to spell my last name, so it's the funniest.
Yeah, nobody knows how to spell my name either. Nobody knows how to spell my first name. My last name people are fine with, but they can't pronounce it. My first name nobody can spell.
It's been the bane of your existence.
It has been the bane of my existence. Another one of my teachers consistently spelled my name with a Y, and I have no idea where she picked that up.
Megan? What?
Megan. M-E-Y.
Oh, Megan. Okay.
Megan. M-E-Y-J-A-N. G-A-N.
So Sam is, I don't consider, the way she talks about herself, she's like freakishly tall, but I feel like she's like 5'6", 5'7". She's not even that tall. She's just tall for her age.
No, I mean, like, I knew girls that were, I mean, I was, how tall was I when I was 12? I was like I think I was already 5'9" by the time I was 12.
I mean, I'm not sure about like biology, but don't girls get growth spurts faster than boys?
Usually girls grow faster, but they stop growing earlier. But I am kind of a freak, so I kept growing, like, up until I was 16. I didn't stop growing until I was 16. I grew, like, I never had, like, a big growth spurt. I just, like, grew consistently every single year.
Yeah, I know, because you are almost like a foot taller than I am.
Am I really? How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Are you 5'7"? I'm 5'10". I'm only 3 inches taller than you.
I don't know.
I just wear big shoes.
All I just remember is you were really tall.
Yeah, well, so Samantha is taller than the tallest boy in her year, who is her friend Corey. And she's also taller than her mom.
I mean, that's not a hard thing. I'm taller than my mom. I'm the tallest person in my family.
Oh, man.
I'm like almost a foot tall. Actually, I literally am like a foot taller than my mom.
Dad, my mom is 5'6". No, my mom is 5'5". My sister's 5'7". My dad is 6 foot. My brother-in-law is 6'4". My niece is 6 foot. And
What?
my nephew is 6'3".
Wait, what?
My niece is 16 and she's 6 feet tall.
In my brain, I'm just hearing Godzilla music. Do 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 do.
That's basically what my dad does every time they come over. He calls them the giants that walk the earth.
Oh, bless your dad.
So yeah, my dad's pretty tall. My mom's like average, but her dad was pretty tall. Everyone in my in-laws' family is just like giant. They're all huge. I would think Samantha's probably like 5'9", 5'10".
Oh yeah, I don't consider. I mean, she's tall, but I think she's just very like stocky and like.
I think she's supposed to be. She's tall and slim, so people think she's good at basketball.
But she's
so she
not.
got signed up for the basketball team, but she's not good at basketball at all.
Is that just like a weird stereotype of just tall people?
That is a weird stereotype. Like that's like at least 70% of the reason why I started playing basketball in high school is because everybody was like, "You'll be good at it. You're tall."
Well, then again, I can't really speak for that because I have a friend who is 6'7" and he played basketball and now he's a basketball coach.
If you're like 5'10" and above, people are always gonna bug you whether or not you play basketball. Like once you hit 6 foot, it's like, "Do you play basketball?" Caitlin Spice, friend of the show, author of The Silver Path, which you can buy online somewhere. I met her in real life when I was in Wellington. She's like 6'2", and she says people always ask her if she plays basketball.
She should say that she plays badminton.
Just throw them a curveball and say you play ping pong.
Professionally. No, what I would say is, I play Minecraft professionally.
That's very Minecraftian. Anyway... Yeah, so she's on the basketball team, and she sucks at basketball.
Not only that, she sucks at most things, because I think the only thing she's good at is home ec, but barely.
She's very, very clumsy, and she's bad at maths. And, like, I related to Sam so much as a kid, because I was a lot like her. I was just, like, big, awkward, emotionally volatile. So I was reading this book, and I was like, yes, this is so me. I love this girl.
You're looking at this as, like, the bird triad.
What? Oh, yeah, because there was that guy called Bird in Say Cheese and Die.
No, it's like the unholy triad. If you have 3 of these traits, you're most likely to be like a serial killer. It's the bird triad.
The bird triad. Yeah, but I think like a lot of girls can relate to like. It's hard being a girl who's like larger than other girls, whether you're like heavy set or if you're like really tall. Because the majority of girls are not that big.
No, and especially like in this book, because they're all like 2 feet tall type of stuff. Because
how tall is she? Says exactly how Judith is 5'2".
Oh yeah, so like just compared, yeah, she's like really small. I think it'd be even funnier if she was like 4'11".
She's really small. I mean, that's normal for a 12-year-old. 5'2" is very small. That's like, to me, that's like an ant person.
Well, I know people that are like 4'7", 4'11".
Oh, so do I. So do I. I mean, when I met Nicole Goodnight in person when I was in New York, she's really short. And she was like, she saw me and she like got angry. They go to a school where the teachers let the kids call them by their first names.
For me, that's not odd, because if you're in the theater world, that's just something you do.
Yeah, I mean, like, I called all my university professors by their first names, but, you know, like, when I was in high school, it was like, you know...
You had to say, like, it's Mr. or Mrs. blank to blank.
Yeah, and everybody was like, all the female teachers were Miss, and all the male teachers were Sir, and...
Well, I mean, for me, I actually have a funny story about this. We had one teacher's aide that would refuse to give us her last name, but she'd always say her first name. Someone found out what her last name was, and the reason why was because her part-time job was an adult entertainer.
Oh my god. That's a great story. Judith basically just lives to torment Sam. Like, she trips her, and then when she goes up to the board, she points out her mistake, and then everybody laughs. She's horrible. She's like the Regina George of this school.
Oh, wow, that's hardcore.
Except she's not gonna, like, pretend to be Sam's friend. And of course Judith is a redhead, so once again, R.L. Stine, who hurt you?
This is like the question of the century.
We need to get him on the show and just say, like, who was the redhead in your life, R.L. Stine?
He like turns, has like a picture of his mom.
She left.
No, apparently no. R.L. Stine's talked about his mom, and she was the worst human being.
But was she a redhead?
Fairly sure, yes.
Mystery solved, listeners. Anyway, so she goes to home ec. And Sam Bird really is me, because she also wears Doc Martens to school every day.
Blue Doc Martens.
Yeah, I wore black ones because we were only allowed to wear black shoes, but I wore Doc Martens to school every day when I was in high school.
She's like super trendy.
Yeah, I really like Sam. She's a great character.
Were you molded by Sam?
No, but I feel like I think I was already, like, I was the same age as Sam when I read this book, so she couldn't mold me because I already, like, my personality was fully formed by then.
Yeah, and while that's happening, you know, they're making, for some reason, tapioca pudding, because I didn't know that you can make it from scratch. I always thought you just got it from a packet.
Wow, Zach.
What?
Technically, you can make anything from scratch, because, like, where do you think the food comes from? Someone had to make it at some point.
I just thought like it's just like an automated process now.
What's the thing in Star Trek where they're like, computer,
the food replicator.
Computer, give me tapioca, and it just like comes out.
Oh yeah, so in my brain I think everything's like a food replicator.
3D printed tapioca.
Well, you can do that now. There is 3D printed food you can have, which is weird. But moving on.
Judith spills tapioca pudding on Sam's
her blue Doc
brand
Martens.
New blue Doc Martens. And Sam goes off. She literally tries to strangle Judith and has to be dragged away by the teacher.
To be fair, someone spilled stuff on your Doc Martens.
That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Judas, I keep calling her Judas also, but she is a Judas, because she's betraying Sam. Everybody betray her. She fed up with the world.
I kill you.
Anyway, so Judith has been horrible to Sam all day.
Not all day, her entire life.
Her entire life.
She got off lucky by almost getting choked to death, because this is...
Did I ever tell you? This is another way that I am like Sam, but did I ever tell you that when I was in primary school, I pushed a kid down the stairs?
I'm getting quite concerned that the bird triad is actually a thing.
I mean, tweet at the show if you also deeply relate to Samantha Bird.
So wait, now I have to ask, why did you push this person down the stairs?
Because it's actually a really funny story.
It's a funny story.
It's a funny story. So when I was a kid, I got into a fight with another girl and she shoved me onto the ground and I was crying. And then I went home that day and I said, Dad, a girl pushed me when I was at school today. And my dad says, if she ever pushes you again, you push her right back. And she did. And we just happened to be standing on a staircase. So she fell down the stairs. She's okay. She didn't die.
It turns out she's your best friend now.
No, I don't even remember who it was. Anyway, so I really love the ending of chapter 2 where it's like, if I had 3 wishes, I told myself, I know what they would be. Destroy Judith, and destroy Judith.
Man, she wasted her wishes then.
Yeah, I know, that's just the same wish 3 times, Sam.
Just save it for 1, then you use your 2 for old domination. You know how it is.
So she has to apologize to Judith, even though it's Judith's fault.
Yeah, because she's a poopy head.
Because she started, it's like they say, don't want none, don't start none. No one told Judith that, because Judith is starting stuff all the time.
Yeah, and so it cuts to the next day, and it is horribly raining.
No, she goes to basketball practice, and Judith shows her up at basketball, as usual, and then Judith knocks the wind out of her, and she goes unconscious.
Yeah, because Judith is a sociopath.
Judith is, evil. She's legitimately evil. This is, the worst.
I'm pretty sure she starts fires and, puts her Barbies in the microwave.
I mean, she probably does. And also, Judith at lunch hangs out with the 8th grade.
Oh, wow, the big boys?
The big boys. Which is to me, that's nothing, because 7 through 12 is all in the same building at most high schools here. 7th grade is mega baby, and then 8th grade is just slightly less of a baby.
So the school that we had, it went to 8th grade, and then you'd go to high school. So 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
I think that's how it is in America. I think that's how it is in American schools. It's just Australia's just got less people, so...
For me, it's just really funny, going back to a middle school and seeing, a bunch of, 8th graders are super edgy. Yeah, we're the top of the top.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's
then they get to high school, and it's the funniest thing. It's they go from, the salty spittoon, and then they go to super weenie hut juniors.
I know, that's exactly right. It's like seeing kids in, 6th grade, and then they go to 7th grade. And it's you are a little baby. Then she angry rides her bike home in the rain.
Because she's a maniac on the floor.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of that bit in Flight of the Conchords with Brett's angry dance. I'm just imagining that, but on a bike.
So she's pedaling really fast.
She's rolling around at the speed of sound.
Great, now I'm thinking of, Baby Christian Shaw as Sam Bird.
So then she runs into this weird woman who's asking for directions to Madison, which is clear on the other side of town.
But it's not the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing is that she's lost in the middle of a forest.
Yeah, she's randomly in the middle of the woods, and she's like, can you help me get to Madison? And Sam Bird, being a good, but maybe...
Sweet little baby angel.
A sweet little baby angel, but maybe not the smartest person on earth, is like, yeah, I'll ride 9 blocks on my bike to show you where it is.
But she's really nice.
But it's raining.
Well, if this was now, she'd be like, oh, yeah, sure, here, I'll get you an Uber.
Yeah, I'll get you an Uber on my phone that my parents got me, even though I'm 12.
And somehow I can use Uber.
Even though I'm 12. So, I really like the description of this woman, that she looks like she could be 20 or she could be 60. That's sort of how kids think of adults. It's anybody over a certain age is old, you know?
Or decrepit.
Yeah, it's you get to be 30 and it's you are old now. That's just how kids see the world, and I think that that's a really... good little detail, because it just makes her seem more like a realistic 12-year-old, because that is legitimately how kids think.
No, yeah, so she takes her there, and this old lady is like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 wishes.
So when they're crossing the road, stops this woman from being hit by a car.
Yeah, because she's super clumsy. She's like Mr. Magoo.
She is. She accidentally saves somebody with her clumsiness. That is very much Mr. Magoo.
And then that's when... Lady Witch is like, I'll give you 3 wishes.
Her name is Clarissa the Crystal Woman.
Oh, Clarissa the Crystal Woman.
Because Clarissa's going to explain it all about how you get 3 wishes.
How do you get 3 wishes?
She has the crystal ball, and she takes it out, and the crystal ball starts glowing red. And it's spooky. It's so spooky, Zach.
Meg.
What?
Do you know the babe?
The babe with the power?
Power of voodoo.
Voodoo.
You do.
Do what?
You remind me of the babe, and so my baby, trying hard as babe could try. Wait, what? I had to do at least one.
That was perfect. That was seamless.
Now I just think of Clarissa as just David Bowie.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe David Bowie. David Bowie is an androgynous star child. David Bowie could be in this role. Blows a kiss to David Bowie.
But yeah, so she gives her these wishes 3.
Another, like, really funny line in this book, like an understated but very funny line in this book is the end of chapter 5. Tell you what, I'll grant you 3 wishes, beginning of chapter 6. She's crazy, I realized.
Yeah, no, so she gets these 3 wishes, and what is her first wish?
Her first wish is to be the strongest player on the basketball team. It's really creepy that her eyes, like, Clarissa the Crystal Woman has black eyes, but they suddenly turn red while she's granting the wish, and then she suddenly looks, like, impossibly old for a few seconds. Yeah, so she goes home, and her mom works so much that she only ever makes canned beans and instant potatoes.
So sad.
I have never once had instant mash before, and I am so glad I've never had it because I've heard it's disgusting.
Think of like wet cements, like the filling between wet cement, and it's sticky, and it like you probably could like plaster a wall with it.
Thanks, I hate it. Yeah, I really love this. Get me to take another helping of mashed potatoes, and I was refusing. They were that kind from a box, you know, potato flakes or something. They didn't taste like real mash. And the mom's going, you gotta finish your dinner if you want to be big and strong, Sam. And Sam's like, Mom, please, I'm already like 5'11". I don't need to grow anymore.
It's just like the little, like they're in like a little kitchen in their heads. It's almost like Elf.
Yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking of with Sam and her family, is that she's Buddy and everybody else are the elves.
Yeah.
We don't know how tall her brother Ron is. He might be really tall too. I don't know. The dad might be huge.
He's like 7'4".
Yeah.
He's like 6 years old, 7'4".
No, Ron's actually older. Yeah, he's older. This is one of the... I cannot fault you for thinking that he'd be younger because there are so many younger siblings in Goosebumps books, but I think this is actually a rare example of a character having a older sibling.
Oh my, that means they're the younger sibling.
That means Sam's the annoying younger sibling.
Oh my god. And ironically, his name's Rod. You know, not like Rod Serling or anything.
Ron.
Yeah, Rod Serling.
So she's thinking, maybe I'll test out this wish. So she invites Ron out to shoot some hoops with her in the yard. And guess what? She's not any better at basketball than she was at the start of the day.
Is she getting rickety wrecked?
She's getting rickety wrecked. She's getting dunked on, son.
And they start like playing, like they're playing
basketball.
And Sam's just awful.
Yeah. Just like one of those, like, you know those highlight reels of basketball games? It's just that, but her falling over and over again.
It's like a reverse, like, Rocky montage where she's just getting worse instead of getting better.
They've got a big game coming up, and she's furious because the wish didn't work, Zach.
No, and then she makes her second wish.
No, well, you don't know. The fact is that everybody else on the team gets sick.
Well, no, remember the second wish? She wishes, because she gets so angry at her brother, she wishes that he was 1 foot tall.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So then it cuts the next day, and it's the big game.
It's the big game, and everybody's sick.
Wait, they're sick with the sniffles?
Yeah, everybody's got the flu or something.
Yeah, except, you know, Sam is the only strong one that didn't get sick, and she is still terrible. So while they're at the basketball game, Sam is doing the worst while the other team is doing their best, and they lose miserably. Super miserably.
Yeah.
And then it cuts the next day, and all the team, except for Sam, isn't at school. They're all sick, and Sam's first conclusion is they're all dying and she's a murderer.
I mean, I can see why she would think that. You're genre savvy enough to know about, like, the monkey's paw. Your thought would be like, oh no, my wish killed them.
I feel like, but then like, here I am, like, looking at the loophole, like, strongest person on the team. If she quit the basketball team, would the spell reverse? Because she's technically not on the team anymore.
Oh man, maybe that would work.
Because, you know, she says she's the strongest person on the team, so if she was to join, like, another team, would they get sick?
Every time I read anything that's, like, about wishes, like, I always find myself sort of thinking about how I would, like, edit the wishes to make them work better. Sam, if she had wished, I wish I was better at playing basketball, then that would have worked.
She wakes up and she's in the pro league, and she's still terrible.
But saying, like, I wish I was the strongest... You can't make here's a lesson. If you ever, like, get 3 wishes, here's a lesson. You can't make a wish that requires something else, like, is relative to something else. Like, you can't say, I wish I was the tallest person in the world. Everybody else in the world shrinks.
Or you become like Godzilla size.
I wish I was like the best artist in my school or whatever. Everyone else in the school loses their hands. You know, you can't make a wish that's relative to something else. You gotta be like, it's gotta be like, I wish I was better at blah. I wish I was exactly this height, you know?
I wish I had a turkey sandwich.
Yeah, see? Keep it simple, stupid.
Then I'm like, I forgot the mayo. No.
No, that's truly a nightmarish reality. It's like you with a sandwich and you like drop it to the ground and you're like, no, there was time.
I had nothing
but time. I had nothing but mayo.
So yeah, so everyone's getting sick. So Sam's getting super guilty, so she like goes to Judith's house. And Judith is there slowly dying.
Yeah, she's very sick.
Instead of Judith being nice to Sam, she's still like, on her deathbed complaining and being an awful person.
Judith is terrible.
Even on her deathbed, she wants like venom to Sam.
Sam has made the effort to come to your house, Judith, and you're still being a bitch.
What? Who hurt you? What? Okay, I don't think they ever explain this in the story, but why does Judith just hate Sam this much?
I don't know, because Sam is tall?
That doesn't give a reason to be a horrible person here.
Well, when you're a 12-year-old girl, 12 is the shittiest age for girls. I speak from experience. I was terrible when I was 12. My niece, terrible when she was 12. Everyone I've ever known sucked when they were 12. So, like, when you're a 12-year-old girl, you know, like, sometimes some other 12-year-old girl in your grade will just kind of decide, like, yeah, but I'm gonna hate you. I hate you now. I'm gonna be mean to you only, you know? Like, I was like that with my friend Brittany, who's, like, one of my best friends now. When we were in, like, year 7 and 8, I was horrible to her for no reason.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, once we get to the twist of this, it just makes good old Judith even worse, though. But there is a point, like, there's like a threshold, and she like crosses it very quickly in the story.
Yeah, Judith is just mean. She's just a bad person.
Yeah, like I said, she like starts fires, melts Barbies, and
probably killed her neighbor's dog.
Oh yeah, vivisected it. So, you know, she should be locked up.
So anyway, she stops by Judith's house, and Judith does say, "You put a spell on us.
You witch.
You witch.
And
I am that very witch."
I'm a boss-ass witch. Witch. I'm a boss-ass witch.
Good. I like that.
I don't give a truck about which.
Bees in the trap. Bees in the trap. I've lost my mind now. Anyway.
So, yeah, and then she starts accusing Sam of being a witch. Like, we learned about it in social studies, like, how witches are. It's like, are we talking about, like, a witch hunt? Or the Salem witch trials, which were just people accusing other people of not really being witches. But, well, this is where Sam, like, kind of gets, like, a god complex. And I was just thinking of The Craft the entire time.
Yes.
Like, she, like, walks into school dressed in all black.
She walks out of the house and Judith is standing behind her with her, like, voice sore from being sick. And she's just, like, chanting, witch, 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 as Sam leaves.
Here I am just thinking, like, she goes in... And
her mom is like, Judith's mom is like, stop screaming, Judith, you'll hurt your voice, you're sick.
She's not complaining that she's calling her a witch. I'm surprised.
No, and maybe that's what's wrong with Judith. Maybe her mom just enables her terrible behavior.
I feel like the end of this book, alternate version of this book, is they actually put Sam, like, on a stake.
I think, and then Judith's mom is like, oh, she's just saying that because she's delirious from her fever. Judith, go lie down. And Judith's like, witch.
Because, you know, that's what you want to hear is your kid being delirious and not going to the hospital.
And so she goes and finds Clarissa the Crystal Woman in the woods again. Clarissa to cancel the first wish and give her a second wish. And her second wish is because she's so angry at Judith, understandably, I might add. She's so angry at Judith, she says, I wish Judith would just disappear.
Yep, and that backfires too, but thinking about it, I don't understand why it was not just Judith, but it's only her that disappears. No, it's everyone that disappears.
Everybody disappears, and in the TV episode, they make it more, like, they change it to make it make more sense. In the TV episode, instead of her second wish being, I wish Judith would disappear, it's, she gets into, like, a fight with her mom, and then she runs into Judith, and And then she says, I wish everyone would just bug off. And then everyone turns into flies.
Oh, yes, I remember this. I'm just confused.
Which is way better.
Which I like a lot more, because in this one, I would...
Yeah, it makes more sense. Like, I don't understand how Clarissa the Crystal Woman would be like...
Everyone goes away.
One person goes away, but everybody has to go away also.
Or they make it realistic, and she just, like, disappears, and everyone starts freaking out where she is. And because the last person that saw her was Sam, they accuse her of being a witch and putting a spell on her.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know, it's like stuff like that, or she gets turned into something else.
Yeah, so she wakes up the next morning and her mom is gone. Everyone's gone.
She thinks it's like the weekend, and
there's no one there. She thinks maybe she slept through Friday, and I've only had an experience like that once. Have you ever, like, slept so late that you don't know what day it is?
No, Meg. It's always, what year is it?
Oh, man, he naps hard, this one.
Yeah, like, sometimes I'll wake up, and there was, like, one time where I accidentally took a nap for about 20 minutes, and I woke up, and I thought it was the next day, and I was running late for work. I was halfway down the freeway when I realized that the same day, and I didn't have to go to work till tomorrow.
One time I went to a party, and I was sick, but I didn't want to not go to this party, and I came home at, like, 12, and then I slept until 1 o'clock the next day. I slept for 13 whole hours.
13 hours? I've slept for about 16 before.
That's not healthy. I slept for 13 hours because I was sick.
I was working hard and I fell asleep and then I woke up like 16 hours later.
Yeah, Zach, can I ask you a real question? When do you sleep? Because your Skype is always online. His Skype status is literally, I'm always online. Just message me whenever.
Well, there's like this weird period of time where I get about 6 hours of sleep.
Okay, that's like enough. That's fine.
Well, you only need technically 8 to be healthy, 6 to live.
Like, as long as you're getting between 6 and 8.
One of my wishes would be, I wish to be able not to sleep and have no repercussions or sleep deprivation problems.
That's a good wish because you're being real specific with it.
Yeah, so you gotta be specific. Same as how I'd wish for 1,000.
Although, honestly, like, if you wished, I wish I didn't have to sleep and I didn't have any health problems from it, you might just die, because technically, when you're dead, you're not sleeping.
Or I'm in a coma.
No, but that's like double sleep. That's like advanced sleep.
Like, no, I wake up and I'm actually in the Matrix. Like, oh shit, this is bad.
Oh no, too woke. You can't sleep because you're too woke.
And no, so like the wish actually backfires. So I start seeing people as like lizard people in a virtual reality.
It's like a they live kind of scenario.
Yeah, like it finds out like, oh no, I don't have to sleep anymore because I'm already woke.
So woke. I saw this great tweet that was like, honey, can you check if the baby's sleeping? I go into the room, the baby from the crib.
Hillary's a lizard person. Oh man, that baby's woke.
Yeah, no, honey, the baby's too woke.
What was I gonna say? So yeah, so the second wish like really backfires. She like goes around town and there's no one there. And my favorite part is she goes home and makes herself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and starts freaking out because she's like, I have to ration this.
Yeah, it's like, well, I can't think on an empty stomach, so I gotta eat a sandwich so I can think.
And then she makes it, and then she starts freaking out like, what happens when I run out of PBJ? And she's like, I could start stealing food, or, you know, you eat other things.
What?
I don't know, broccoli?
Oh, man. Truly the desperate time. Truly the most desperate time when you eat broccoli. Nah, jokes. I actually love broccoli.
I like broccoli.
I eat broccoli all the time.
So then Clarissa's outside, and
the dog even went away.
Everything went away.
That's the most heartbreaking part. The dog isn't even a person.
Well, everything went away. There wasn't just that. It was the birds. It was you basically, Sam, if she was to say in this universe, completely messed up the ecosystem.
Completely messed up the everything. Clarissa the Crystal Woman comes back in, and her explanation is ridiculous. I'm gonna read this word for word. I didn't wish for everyone in the world to disappear. You did that. You wished for Judith Bellwood to disappear, Clarissa said, adjusting the shawl on her shoulders. I granted the wish as best I could. No, you tricked me, I insisted angrily. She snickered. Magic is often unpredictable. I figured you would not be happy with your last wish. That's why I've returned. You have one more wish. Would you like to make it now?
Yeah, I'd wish for 1,000 Clarissas, please.
Why?
More wishes.
Yeah, but there would be more chances for them to get messed up because there'd be more of them, and What you'd want to do is I wish for another one of you, but like a more competent version.
And she comes back as an intellectual.
The greatest witch.
She comes back and she's like Sinbad as Shazam. Oh, what's Kazam?
Do you know what I'm thinking of now? I'm thinking of those ads for, the V energy drinks?
Yeah.
The ad for that here is like, there'll be a person and they're gonna do something, and then the group of friends will be like, nah, we're gonna go with him instead, and it'll be the same guy, but he's holding a can of V. And he's like, this is the same guy. That's just another one of me. Why do you like him better? I don't know. He's just a little bit better. And then he sips his V, and the tagline is, V energy drinks, the massive hit that improves you a little bit.
It's stuff like that. Oh, man, so what is her third wish?
Her third wish is that Judith is her best friend.
And everything's back to normal.
Everything is back to normal, and Judith is her best friend.
And this is where this book became super uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, this part is weird. This is, like, creepy. She comes into school the next day, and Judith has the exact same haircut as her.
And she's wearing basically the same outfit as her. And the whole day is just Judith not shutting up and just...
She's straight creeping.
She just came out of Creepsville, and she's like, Sam, I like your hair. Oh, you're so smart. You're so funny.
Sam, I love your t-shirt.
Where'd you get it from?
Sam, did you get that t-shirt at the Gap? I'm gonna get a t-shirt just like that, Sam.
We should be friends, and we should go to, like, study together, and we should both get married to the same man type of weird stuff.
Because it's the 90s, and it's we can't get married to each other yet. They haven't made that law yet. In some ways, it's, like, scarier if a really horrible person likes you. Because it's like, what does that say about me?
It's not even that. It's more of, not even like a scary person liking you. It's just a person that's hated you, obsessing over you.
Yeah.
Like, I think some people's dream is to be obsessed over, but it's not a dream that I don't think anyone wants.
She's described as having, like worshipping Sam, basically.
She's like Helga in Hey Arnold.
She is. Oh my god. What if what if the reason that Judith was so mean to Sam, she had a crush on Sam, but because gay people are still, like, not talked about as much, she doesn't understand her feelings towards Sam, so she interprets them as aggression.
I mean, that is a possibility. We can have 90s lesbians here.
She doesn't know what gay is, so she doesn't know what her feelings towards Sam are, and so she interprets them as anger.
But that does not explain the ending still.
Oh, yeah, the ending is that shoots that theory in the face.
That's theory 45 of why she's terrible. The other ones are, she stole a crayon when she was in kindergarten with her.
She fell off a swing set and bumped her head.
She wasn't invited to one of her birthday parties. We can also, we'll just put this on like a conspiracy board. Though I think her being a lesbian is pretty high up there. That makes much more sense.
Yeah, I think maybe she is. I think because, like, you know how it is when you're a kid and you get a crush on another kid and you're like, I hate you for making me feel this.
That is a possibility. And they are 12, so that's kind of getting into, like, puberty area.
Yeah, it is. It's puberty age. That's the age where you're like, I hate you. I don't actually, but I think I do because I'm 12.
So yeah, but no, she's straight up creeping, like... She eats the same foods. She's asked people, like, get out of the way so they can make room for Sam at the lunch table.
And then she sneaks into her room at night.
Just to look at her.
Full on, like, Twilight. Straight creeping.
It's not even full Twilight. It's like, I just imagine, like, Sam wakes up and she just hears, like squeaking sounds. And she, like, turns on the light and there's just Judith in, like, a rocking chair.
I hate this. This is so creepy.
It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to feel like here. And it gets to the point of...
I know. This is, like, the scariest part of the book. It's just, like, it kind of reminds me, if you remember the movie The Cable Guy.
Just imagine if this was written now and she had a cell phone.
Oh, yeah. She'd be getting texts all the time from Judith.
Phone calls, texts, snaps, Facebook. They'd set their relationship to friends forever.
It's very creepy. So she's trying to get away from Judith.
She bumps back into Clarissa one more time.
And so she thinks, I'm going to get revenge on Judith. I'm going to make it that Judith found Clarissa and got the wishes instead of me. And so then Judith's life can be wrecked by all of these messed up wishes.
What happens, Meg? You want to read that whole passage?
This has stuck with me for years. This is like, I think about this sometimes. It's one of the best twists in Goosebumps, I think. This is the perfect revenge, I told myself. Now Judith will make a wish, and her life will be totally ruined. Chuckling to myself, I strained to hear what they were saying. I was dying to know what Judith would wish for. I'm pretty sure I heard Judith say, "Bird, why don't you fly away?" But that didn't make any sense. I was so happy, so deliriously happy. I was free, totally free. I suddenly felt so different, lighter, happier. Let Judith have her wishes, I thought gleefully. Let her see what it's like. Tilting my head, I saw a juicy brown earthworm poke its head up from the ground. All of a sudden, I was feeling pretty hungry. I jabbed my head forward and caught the end of the worm. Then I ate it. Very tasty. I fluttered my wings, testing the wind. Then I took off, flying low over the woods. The cool breeze felt so refreshing against my feathers. As I fluttered my wings harder, swooping higher into the sky, I glanced down and saw Judith. She was standing beside Clarissa. Judith stared up at me from the ground, and I guess she got her first wish because she had the biggest smile on her face. I love this ending. That's part of why it's my favorite Goosebumps book, because that ending is just so brutal. But it's, like, good at the same time. On the one hand, it's like, she's been turned into a bird, her parents and her family are never gonna see her again. But on the other hand, it's like, she's happy. She's just like, screw all you, I'm a bird now. I get to do whatever I want. So, what do you think about it?
I like it. It's a very diet, like the monkey's paw. For me, it's a little different because this is surprisingly, instead of like, interesting thing about this book is also like usually they have like both genders, so they have boys and girls. This one's all like an all girl book.
Yeah, pretty much, except for like her mate Cody, who appears for one, and the brother.
But he doesn't play a part in this book at all. He just eats grilled cheese the entire time. They don't contribute anything to the story.
You know how I would describe this book is probably Roald Dahl-esque? It's very much like, it reminds me of In the Witches where the kid gets turned into the mouse. It's just that kind of like whimsical, but like kind of mean as well.
No, it's like whimsical, horrifying.
Yeah, whimsical, horrifying. It is very Roald Dahl-esque in that way.
How like Willy Wonka is this whimsical serial killer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think the main fear of this book actually gets it correct. Children can be terrible human beings.
Yeah, children, especially 12-year-old girls, because as I said, 12 is the shittiest age to be when you're a girl. Young girls are really horrible to each other.
Because they got nothing to lose,
They
really.
don't. They have no fear of death.
No, they don't, and that's the scariest part about this entire time.
They've got God and anime on their sides. Anyway, do you want to hear the Q&A with R.L. Stine for this book? If you were given 3 wishes, what would you wish for? R.L. Stine: that's really hard. The truth is, my biggest wish came true. I wanted to be a writer, and I am. But if I do have 2 wishes left, I'd use one to wish to travel back in time, and I'd use the second one to make sure I got back to the present. Womp womp. Classic Jovial Bob.
Okay, what time do you think R.L. Stine would travel back in time?
I think he would travel back to the 40s or the 30s, like when they used to make all those classic monster movies.
Just to watch them?
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that would want to see those, like, as they were being made.
I'd do that. I actually have to go back to about the 20s.
I would go back in time to 2015, and I would go to Vancouver, and I would apply for a job on A Series of Unfortunate Events, the series. I didn't have my degree then, so I couldn't have worked in that field, but now I have a degree. But, like, the show's almost done, so I can't work on it. My ship has sailed.
So what I would do is I would go back in time with a shovel and some money, and I would go back to, let's say, 80 years, bury some gold and stuff, put it in a box, come back, and be like, oh, hey, look, I found this. It's mine. All I'm just saying is I just put like a penny in the bank just after the stock market crashes and just go into the future, and I'm a millionaire. I just say it's my great-great-granddaddy.
Yeah. So anyway, do you want to hear the special, like, the more you know section of this book?
Yes, please.
Don't have a crystal ball carrying woman wandering around your neighborhood forest? Don't sweat it. There are plenty of ways to make wishes without the aid of creepy old ladies. Here are a few. Throw a coin into a fountain and make a wish. Here's the idea behind this wishing technique. The spirits who live in the water are more likely to grant your wish if you include a little payment. Seems like nobody does anything for free these days. The next time you eat a turkey, crack the wishbone with someone else. Whoever ends up with the larger piece will get to make a wish. Too busy to cook a whole turkey? No worries. Fake wishbones are now available for mess-free wishing. If you see a one-eyed cat, spit on your thumb and then grind your thumb into the palm of your other hand while making a wish. Please make sure you saw a one-eyed cat first. We'd hate you to go through all of that spit grinding trouble for no good reason.
I didn't know that was actually a wish thing.
I didn't know that one. And then the rest of these are just like, if you see a ladybug, if you see a shooting star, if you blow out your birthday candles, if you blow away an eyelash, or if you see the numbers 1111 on a digital clock. Like, all of the, I would be surprised if any children had actually, like, not heard of any of these.
Well, we didn't hear about one of them, so I guess not all.
Yeah, we hadn't heard about one of them, the one-eyed cat one. But, like, all the rest of them, like... Also, the other thing that I used to do when I was a kid is if I was eating a bag of Doritos, and there was a Dorito that was folded over on itself, we used to think that it was bad luck if you touched a folded over Dorito with your thumb. So we would try and grab it with, like, our middle finger and our ring finger only, and then you make a wish while you're eating it. Did you ever do that? Or is that just, like, a weird thing that me and my friends made up?
That is a weird thing that you and your friends made up.
If anybody else wished on Doritos, tweet at me.
Dorito, like the company Doritos, like tweets at you. Yeah, we did that. It's a new marketing thing.
I'm trying to think. There was some other stupid thing that we used to do to make wishes when I was a kid.
I used to hold my breath until I got dizzy, and then I'd wish.
I still hold my breath if I drive past a graveyard.
I don't know. I got this new pool in my backyard, and it's really awesome. Except there's not a creepy clown in my room.
I feel like you're making a reference to something, but at the same time, I'm a little bit worried because you legitimately sounded like you just looked over in the corner and saw a creepy clown. Like, the way your voice trailed off, I was like, Zach, are you okay?
It's Tim Curry. He found me. I don't know how he did it, but he found me.
Oh, no.
Waha!
Waha! Waha! Waha! Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert again?
You do. You better let the poor guy out. Waha!
Waha! Waha!
I love that part.
So, anyway.
So, Meg, if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for, and how could they possibly backfire as well?
Oh, man. So I would probably, like, the first thing I'd wish for would be, like, a job that I really, really love. And the backfire would be that it was an unpaid internship for the rest of my life.
No!
I'd probably wish to be able to fly, but then I'd, like, go too high and then pass out because I didn't have any oxygen.
Oh, so this is realistic.
And then I'd just plummet to the earth and die.
What's your third wish?
I would also kind of wish that I could, I also kind of want to wish that I could walk through walls, but I feel like maybe then I would wish that and then, like, my clothes wouldn't be included, so I'd, like, walk into a room and all my clothes would be on the other side of the door.
Oh, that's so awkward, unless, like...
That would be really awkward. Anyway, what about you, Zach?
Actually, I think for my first wish, I'd actually wish for a new pair of shoes. Because I actually need a new pair of shoes.
Keeping it simple.
Yeah.
But, like, what if the wish would be that, like, that's the only shoes you're ever allowed to have and you can't take them off?
Oh, what is this? Cloudy with a chance of meatballs?
Yeah, maybe that's how the wish backfires.
Well, then I don't have to pay for shoes anymore.
Actually, you know what? You know what else my wish would be?
What?
You know what my other wish would be? I would wish that I was a vampire.
Are you bursting into flames right now?
Yeah, I would.
Because you backfires because you would...
No, I'd wish that I was a vampire, and then, like, I would be, like, one of the really crappy vampires.
You'd be like Twilight vampires? Or...
I'd be like Twilight vampires who don't really do anything that interesting.
So you're trading up being a vampire over being a mermaid?
Oh my god, you're totally right, but, like, there's more ways that being a mermaid could mess up, honestly. Like, if I'm a mermaid, I can't, like, what if I can't breathe air and I turn into a mermaid and I'm just, like, flopping around on the ground, suffocating?
You'd wait, you'd be like, hey, Clarice, you want to come with me? You, like, drive to the ocean? Make me a mermaid.
Make me a mermaid.
And it's, like, reverse mermaid, so the top half is a, like, fish.
Honestly, I'd still take it. If I could, even if I had to have a fish head, I'd still take it.
Let's see, my second wish, I would want to have, like, Scrooge McDuck type of money.
You get the wish, and it's like it's all like Venezuelan dollars or whatever. It's like a lot of money.
No, the backfire was it actually is Scrooge McDuck money from.
So it's like cartoon money that you can't spend.
Yeah, it's completely useless. But then I'd have the excuse to jump into it. So
that's true.
And then I realize that it's like still like solid, and I kill myself because it's still solid mass.
At Disneyland, isn't there like a Scrooge McDuck pool that's like full of foam money?
They did that for Comic-Con.
Oh, they did that for Comic-Con.
I know.
Okay.
I know the biggest wish is, and this is super big, Meg. You want to know what it is? We're friends forever.
No. I wake up in the middle of the night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're just like sitting in my room staring at me.
I'd be like, Meg, there's no mayo. What's the deal here? Like, there's no, my sandwich is just dry.
My sandwich has no mayo, and then you just throw it at me.
And then it's like Iris and do.
Oh, Zach. So, Zach, do we have a joke from Jovial Bob's joke book?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Bat.
Bat who?
Bat, you can't wait to read more of these jokes.
Oh, Zach, that's so funny.
Yay.
So, Zach, what are we reading next week?
Well, Meg, we're actually going to be reading a Ghosts of Fear Street book because we've been reading a lot of Fear Street lately, and I'm kind of tired of edgy teens talking about nothing.
Oh man, me too. You listened to my complaint and you considered them. You're a good podcast co-host.
Yeah. So we're going to be reading Fright Night. So Fright, like night spelled like knight in shining armor.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like Fright Night, like Nite.
Nope, but I'm excited because Fright Night is one of my favorite movies, so maybe this might be terrible.
Oh man. Okay, unpopular opinion perhaps, but I think that the remake of Fright Night is one of the only remakes that I think is almost as good as the original. Like, they changed just enough to make it feel like a different movie.
I think Fright Night 2 is one of the greatest sequels ever made.
I've never seen it. I didn't know there was I think you told me that there was a Fright Night 2, like, on this podcast.
Yeah, there's a Fright Night 2. I have a copy of it, but it's on VHS because it's a weird legal battle. I'm not sure, it might be in DVD by now, but it's...
Oh, I could probably find it online somewhere.
So, Meg, where can they find you?
You can find me online at Meg Chuden on Twitter, and I recently changed my display picture and my, like, name on Twitter as well, so, don't be weirded out that, like, I've disappeared from your Twitter feeds. I've just changed my name. So, I'm at MEGTUTEN. I used to be Jessica Haircut, but now I'm Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. Yeah, you can find me at Meg Chuden on Twitter. That's at MEGTUTEN. You can also find me at sodasodabanana.tumblr.com. And if you want Nightmare on Fear Street merchandise, you can go to redbubble.com/people/MEGHANTUTEN. Look for the Nightmare on Fear Street merch folder in my portfolio. We have the Nightmare on Fear Street pink logo, the Nightmare on Fear Street green logo, we have the Bigfoot Capoeira Time shirt, and we also have the Vampire Blood Can Melt Steel Beams shirt. Zach, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Suda41, that's SUDA41. If you want to follow me on any other social media, that's most of the place I'm going to be. If you want to follow our show on Twitter, it's at Night Fear Street. If you want to send us spooky messages, you can email us at nightmareonfearstreet@gmail.com. Other than that, you can find us on every major podcasting platform, and I think some known to medieval times. If you want to find my other show, Radio Camp Half-Blood, you can find us on every podcatching feed now. So you can find us there on Spotify and YouTube. I think we could wish for this episode to be over. I wish this episode was over.
I wish this episode was over also.
Oh god, it backfired. I guess we gotta redo this episode again. Hi, I'm Zach.
No!
Bye.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.